This is the Gunnison sage grouse, and this is a pile of rocks. The connection? In the Gunnison Basin, small rock dams are helping to restore sage grouse habitat. Here's how they work.
I'm Nathan Seward. I'm a wildlife biologist in Gunnison, Colorado. And this is a one rock dam, or an ORD. The purpose of this structure is to help restore and heal incised channels. So this incised channel in the wet meadow likely started because we have an adjacent two-track road. Also livestock grazing. The cattle would trail through the wet meadow here, and that concentrated the water into a channel as well. So our one rock dam slows that water, pulls it up behind it, it spreads the water around. We're trying to restore this wet meadow to create good brood rearing habitat for the Gunnison sage grouse. Wet meadows provide good succulent grasses and forbs, also a greater diversity and abundance of insects that sage grouse need for forage. Anything that we can do to increase chick survival and growth will help overall recruitment in the population. The wet meadow behind me is a great example of brood rearing habitat for the Gunnison sage grouse. This is an area where the female with her chicks will come down and then forage for the succulent grasses and forbs and the greater abundance of insects. You'll notice it's not too far away from the sagebrush cover, which provides that good hiding cover in case a predator or they're disturbed, they can easily retreat back to that cover. This is what happens when water gets channelized and starts to down cut. Instead of having a nice wet meadow, we're down here about 8-10 feet deep. So here's a great example of all the new willow growth that's responding because we're holding more moisture in this system now. This is going to provide some excellent cover for Gunnison sage grouse, but also deer and elk winter forage. So we've built over 450 of these simple rock structures over 9 miles throughout the Gunnison Basin. Colorado Parks and Wildlife, in collaboration with our local climate working group led by the Nature Conservancy.
Recently, Colorado Parks and Wildlife worked with the Nature Conservancy, wildland restoration volunteers, the U.S. Forest Service, and local landowners on projects in the Gunnison Basin. Consultant Bill Zedike, an expert on small rock dams, helped supervise the projects.
I found that we can be very effective using people power to build these. I've been doing this kind of work with volunteers for more than 30 years now. We've built hundreds, if not thousands, of small structures.
Although small in scale, these projects will make a big difference for the Gunnison sage grouse, explained Dr. Jessica Young of Western State Colorado University. She's been studying the birds for more than 2 decades.
This is an exciting project. The riparian areas in the sagebrush in the Gunnison Valley are some of the most critical areas for the species survival. The chicks completely depend on them to be able to get access to invertebrates to grow in their first 2 or 3 months, and they have to grow fast. So the project that's going on here is going to restore these areas. It's going to bring back riparian vegetation, and that will draw in the insects and the invertebrates that the chicks need. I'm thrilled to see it.
For the Gunnison sage grouse, some piles of rocks are going a long ways.